Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the build of the 316. This is the final episode. I managed to get the car finished and it's all documented on this one. In this episode I will be covering a question that I was asked on a Facebook group recently about, what do you do after you've painted the car, polishing it and flattening it down, and how do you get a perfect mirror finish. So that's what we're going to be going on with next. And after that we cover the horrendous changing of the door handle, which is in an E36 just horrible. I really didn't think the job itself would be that bad. A few other bits and pieces along the way, and putting the car back together and finishing it and showing you the end product. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and yeah, so on with it. Getting a mirror finish on a car after it's painted and having a nice smooth surface requires some post paint work. So just want to go through this with you because it was on a Facebook group I'm on, in the 36 Ireland Facebook group, and there was a question asked about wet sanding afterwards. So I just want to show you on the door here, okay? So what I did was, on this door, as you can see, the finish on it is crystal clear, and the reason why it's crystal clear is because that last coat of lacquer I put on there, I put on pretty heavy, and obviously the heavier you put it on, you run the risk of putting a little run on it, and that's what happened. So there was a little run, just a tiny little run. You might see the remnants of it there, and I'm in the process of wet sanding that to take it out, and then I'll be able to buff it up and it'll be all gone, and we get a smooth finish. Now the side panels are great, looking at it the way it's after drying, good finish, little bits of dust here and there, that'll come out with a polish, and I'm pretty happy otherwise than that. Now, the bonnet is different, however, because the bonnet's a flat panel. The lacquer really doesn't get a chance to move that much after you've applied it, and sometimes when the lacquer moves, it finds its it moves, and it finds a nice kind of place for itself, and you're left with a nicer finish than the likes of a flat panel like this. So I'm just going to see if I can see if the camera can pick it up. So if you can kind of see an orange peely kind of finish there, all right, you'll probably see it better here as it's sanded. So there's an orange peely kind of finish on the bonnet, and obviously I don't want that on the car because I want the whole thing like glass. So what I'm doing here is, if you have a look at the bonnet here, you can see that it's completely dull and flat, okay, as opposed to this section here, which is flat on the top and shiny bits on the bottom, and you'll see it all the way up here. So the minute I put the sandpaper on that now, that's what's going to happen. The top layer is going to go smooth, and the under part there, you're going to be left with like the skin of an orange, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm sanding it down with the machine with a 2000 disc, and I'm doing it dry. This is you'd want to know what you're doing with this, because using the sander, doing this, you can hit an edge and you can go too far with it and you can burn through, and you'll end up having to paint the thing again. So it's a tedious job, and like I say, you'd want to be very, very careful on the edges and stuff. But on the flat panels like this, it's good, it's okay. So I'm going to use a 2000 disc here to get it down, because it's not bad. If that was really bad, you could use maybe a 1200 or a 1500 disc, and work your way up through the grades then. And once you've got I've just literally hit this now, so we've got little bits there that I may try and get into, but if I can't get those out, it won't be the worst in the world, because you probably won't see them anyway. That's where maybe bits of dust sat, or there was a little separation for some reason, or maybe there was a fly landed in it. Bearing in mind I'm painting here in the middle of the gym as well, so I mean, conditions aren't great. You'd actually see the orange peel much better in this one here. So that's what I'm doing, flattening it down, then coming along with the machine polisher, polishing it up using various different pastes to bring it up, and hopefully get a mirror finish. There we have one sorry looking brake disc and two very sorry looking brake pads. Yes, this is what came off the car, and needless to say, there was absolutely no break at all in it. So let's just have a look at this pad here. So as you can see, it was metal to metal, and a part of the actual pad had come off and fallen away. This is the inside pad. The inside pad has a bit more meat in it. Brake disc, very pitted, just absolutely shot to bits. And brake discs are so cheap these days that it would be ludicrous. Well, in this case, that's completely gone anyway. But when you're changing a set of pads, if there's even a lip on the discs are so cheap these days, you might as well just repair or replace the whole lot. Thing you'll notice here on this, it's a solid disc. Now, a solid front brake disc is a thing of the past. They're normally all ventilated, and anything now with this being a 316, the 316 had solid discs. A single cam 318 had solid discs, and 318 IS, 318 TDS, and obviously all the 6 cylinders then had a ventilated front disc. I don't know why they didn't ventilate them all. It would have made a lot more sense. But I guess they thought people in 316s wouldn't be really heating their brakes. Ventilated brakes just help keep the disc cool and stop it from overheating under heavy braking. Okay, so next to it we have the new disc, and the new disc, as you can see, looks a hell of a lot better, and the pads do as well. So that's the inside pad there, loads of meat on that, and that is the thickness of this pad. Right, one second, I get this and put the two of them side by side. So that's what that would have looked like when it started its life off. Brake disc fresh out of the box. One thing I did notice about this disc from when I was fitting brakes before, they've actually painted the hub part there and this middle section of the disc, and that's actually they didn't do it for aesthetics. They did it because that part immediately rusts normally. You'd put a pair of new discs on a car, and within a week you'd have a rusty build up there. So I would normally paint those anyway myself, so they've saved me the hassle of doing it. But that's a nice touch. I haven't seen that. No, I haven't fitted APEC brakes in a long time. So APEC are the discs that I'm using today on these, and these things are like, these are pittance. I mean, a pair of discs is probably about 25 or 30 quid. It's ludicrous not to put them on there. Solid discs anyway. I could be wrong on my price in there. They could be 40 quid. I can't remember, but they're cheap anyway. They're cheap. Okay, so we're gonna get these. We're gonna throw these in the bin. I'm gonna get these on there. Next job is this door handle. So as you can see, it just stays up. Now the spring is still working in it, but it doesn't open the door. So the door panel was off when I bought the car, and I said, right, we better have a look at this and see, oh Jesus, see what is going on inside here. Is it an easy fix? Is it a case of change the door lock? What is it? So luckily I have a spare outside anyway, but let's having a look inside here. It's gonna be very hard for this to focus, you know. Right, can you see that lever part there? Well, that lever part should go into that hole that's in behind it, and if you look, that is not working, so they need to be connected. So I'm going to move the lock on the outside here and open these 3 bolts, and that'll give me some, I suppose, wiggle room inside to be able to reattach it, and hopefully that does the trick. Finally, able to open the door from the outside and the inside. Door card back on. Now, when I tell you that was a pig of a job, you know, it was a pig of a job. It took much longer than I thought it would, but look, it's done, and everything's done correctly on it. Now, over to the other side, and as you can see, that on the ground is a window regulator. And we have no window regulator in the door here. When I bought the car, there's a stick of timber just propping up the window, and somebody taking out the regulator, I would imagine, to try and do something with it, and just prop the window up with timber. So anyway, I've just taken that one out of the 328 that I have outside for parts. It's working perfect. and we're now about to fit it. But one of the things, if you are ever doing one of these on an E36 or on any car for that matter, is the channels that it runs up and down on. In this case, this rail here, there's 3 roller bearings, you can kind of see them there. It's a great time to get in there and get some grease on them as well, and just help them, because especially with, like, you know, this car is 24 years old, it's going to, you know, have dried up grease, it's going to have bits of dirt restricting the movement and putting a bit of pressure on those lower nylon bushings, and if the window winder pops out of those, it's a pain in the ass. Ideally, when you're doing the window winder, and I should have done this, is order some new ones and have them fresh to go in, and at least there's a nice firm clip on them, and they are going to last probably the lifetime of the car. They get, once you kind of disturb them once by popping them out of the little ball joint here, they get you know, they break, and they get tired and a small bit worn, as you can see there. That's the ball joint that they go into. Right, so these from the factory are actually riveted into the door, so that's how we'll be putting it back on, is riveting it in. So on with it. Now, window winder in, and it is all working. Now, one of the things that you have to do once you've been messing around with a window winder, or you've disconnected it or anything like that, same on the other side as well, is you've got to reset the windows. And what I mean by that is, when I put this in a second ago and I tried it and it comes all the way down, that's fine, but when you put it up, it was only coming up halfway. So you got to do what's known as a reset on the power windows. Okay, so how you do that is ignition on. Okay, drop the windows, both of them. Okay, going down, and we'll go over now and do the other side. Right, both doors are closed, both windows are down. So what you got to do is you got to get your key, okay, and you got to put it in and go to lock the car and hold it down. Hold it, and see both windows now will come up together all the way up to the top, and release, unlock it, and that's it. They should be all done now. So technically that window now should be able to come all the way down, stop itself. Now that's me putting it up, not touching it, and it should turn off itself. Grand job, perfect. And the same on the other side. It's good, and that's going all the way up there now as well. And you've also got in the doors as well, you've also got these little sensors that give trouble, if you can see them. So inside there, that little black piece, that's actually a sensor. And what that does is, because the doors are frameless, when you close the door, watch the window. See, that's not working now, right? Now when I push it in, it's working. So watch. See, yeah, it's not working. So what I gotta do, listen. I've either got to play with the adjustment to that, or it could be too badly worn, because I should focus that. It could be too badly worn in there, and that one looks like it is worn. But as everything else, luckily we will go out to the donor car and get one off that, and that should be, I'll actually show you on the other side. It works better on the other side, because this one's actually fine. Okay, so window drops down. The reason why it drops down, it's to clear this gap here, because there's no frames on the door. So what I'm going to do now is close it, and you'll see the window go up. See it? And it just seals it, so it gives it a watertight seal. Driver's one always goes before the passenger's one, obviously, because it's, you know, there's going to be more in and out on that one, and it is only plastic at the end of the day, so it is going to wear. So we'll go out now and take the one off the 328. And there we have it. It's finally done, out in the open. First time it's seen the light of day since the last 3 weeks. Just a few bits that I want to go over with you that I haven't already showed you. Clear indicators on there, side repeaters on there. That's how the wheels turned out. Really happy with those, nice and fresh looking. What else? Coming along here to the back, and what I have done is, oh yeah, German number plates. They're the legal ones. Just gave the exhaust a bit of a clean up there as well. New badges, what else? Pretty much it really, I guess. Just a decent clean up inside. It was pretty good anyway. All the door panels are on there, and everything working hunky-dory. So just taking some pictures of it. I've actually taken some, I took some pictures of it in this exact spot just before I started it. So they're going to be interesting to see side by side. But we're really happy with it. It's turned out much better than I thought it would. It's going to make a really nice car for someone. I'm actually selling it. I was hoping to hang on to this one and just keep it for a few years and just let it appreciate away in value, but unfortunately, due to the current situation financially, it has to go. So I'm sure the new owner will will like it. And yeah, so that's it. So thank you so much for watching the build on this one. It went on slightly longer than I thought, but I'm sure you'll all agree that it turned out very well in the end. So that's it, guys. Join me next time where I will be doing the 328, the purple 328. That is next on the list, and that starts tomorrow morning. So video out next week on that one. So that's it. Talk to you all on the next one.